How often do we look at the world and we see it lifeless? Actually, sometimes we see it lesser than life. You hear the evening news and you see what people do and how they act. So what we see is something less than life. Not even lifeless. Lifeless, at least, the stone is just being a stone and just sitting there. But sometimes we see, right? And of course, that is the human choice in people, less than life. And that is quite prevalent today. But is that all there is to see? Could you see something more in a lifeless stone? Or perhaps in a deadened soul of a human? Is there something more there? Or is what you see what you get? Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Tzvich and Kedoshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We conclude today chapter 51. Chapter 51 to the end of Tanya, which is the end of chapter 53, coming to a conclusion of the first book, is a discussion right now about where is God? Where is he in that lifeless stone? Where is he in the lifeless human that's lesser than life in the way that they act? Is God not found everywhere? Is there indeed no place devoid of him? So how do we understand that? And how do we understand the idea that God is found in one place? His Shekhinah, his divine presence, is present in a particular place. I mean, God is everywhere. So we are understanding this by the metaphor of ourselves. The way the soul interplays with the body is the way God interplays with the world. It's on three dimensions. There's the essence of the soul that animates the body equally everywhere. The brain, the heart, and the fingernail, the thumbnail, the essence of the soul is equally found everywhere in a hidden manner, not in a revealed way. The first place where the soul is undiffused revelation is in the brain. Therefore, the brain has awareness. Therefore, the brain controls all the limbs of the body, and therefore the brain has control even over the heart. We can do what our mind tells us rather than our heart that may be full of negative emotions. And then there is the way the soul diffuses and gives light to the eye, to the ear, and so on in a distinguished manner. So it's diffused light, not undiffused light, as the soul first reveals in the brain. So that is a metaphor for us to understand the God. God, the essence of God, we learned, is found everywhere equally. There's no such thing as higher or lower to the essence of God. There isn't a part of creation that is closer, that is more than something else being less. No, all equal before the essence of God. But that's the way God is in unrevealed, hidden manner. But then there is the other extreme, not the middle ground, but the other extreme is the light of God, the diffused light, the contracted light, the light that is diminished. Well, and that you'll have many degrees. You can put a clear curtain in front of your window, and the lights will be minimally diminished. But then you can put 30 curtains, slightly greater diminished. Then you can take those curtains and they're dark, thick material. The light will be diminished even more so. It will be diminished with many curtains that are very thick and dense and dark, that what will it create? What will that light of God create? A stone, an inanimate object. That's what it creates. The physical corporeal world that we all know and love, right? The bagel with peanut butter. The coffee, David's coffee, right? The illumination of the divine light is so hidden and concealed because of the powerful, numerous garments, that we don't sense that there is a light of God that is animating this particular material object or any material. It appears lifeless, totally devoid of any spiritual vitality. Yet, it has a light of God in it. Others, it wouldn't exist. That light of God is constantly creating it, ex nihilo, something from nothing. Literally creating it. And where does that light come from? You say it's only a ray of light. Well, it's actually coming from the Or Ein Sof, from God himself, the infinite of God. It is now, though, being funneled, if you will, through a various chain of creative process. So the physical object that is created by the Ein Sof, the end comes from Malchus of Asiya. Malchus of the world of Asiya. Asiya is the lowest world. Malchus is the lowest of the divine attributes. So in Malchus of Asiya, it is the power, the word of God that animates that physical stone, by way of example, that bagel, right? But what's in that Malchus of Asiya is Malchus of Yitzira, that it incorporates it. In it is another garment, a garment of Malchus of Bria, and in it Malchus of Atzilus. And what's in Malchus of Atzilus? Or Ein Sof, the infinite of God himself. So as God is the vitality of that stone, of that bagel, that's been, he's, right. Of course it is. Well, of course. Of course, now we know it is. But that's not what we see with our naked eye. That's not what we experience, on the palate of our mouth, or when we hold the stone in our hand. We experience a material thing that seems to be lifeless. And in fact, it's not. In fact, it's being animated by God himself. Is there a distinction here? Well, we speak about the essence of God, so he animates everything equally, but that is in a completely hidden manner. Here, the essence of God is also hidden through garments, right? So several garments that are hiding the essence of God, right? And therefore, what emerges is a light of God. And even that light is also being concealed. Because what, in fact, do you perceive is a lifeless, inanimate object. Right? So comes Tanya and teaches us, no. There's something deeper, more profound that's there, that is full of life, really full of life. Right? It goes by way of Malchus of Asiya, the lowest level, but in it is clothed Malchus of Yitzira, Bria, Atzilus, and in Malchus of Atzilus, which is the highest level, the Shekhinah, In it is the Or Ein Sof. So our mind's eye, we can perceive it, not with our physical eye, but that is the reality. So in our mind's eye, we need to be able to see that there is the vitality of God that is animating ex nihilo, something from nothing, every moment. And it's bound up in the miracle of God creating it, the ultimate greatest miracle. That's a powerful idea. So it comes out that your bagel.
It's much more than a bagel.
Much more than a bagel. All right. So let's not treat it as just a bagel. Or so likewise, when we see a person who's acting lifeless, perhaps that's a choice they're making, or perhaps they've abdicated choice. But we need to know that God is animating that individual. And in animating that individual, there's something divine, right? That doesn't mean, oh, everything's hunky-dory, because people make choices. And because of those choices, there are, divine realities that play out as a result, right? Any questions, any comments? I want to thank all those that helped out for the campaign that we just finished last night. Our Chabad Lifeline matching charity campaign. We reached our goal miraculously, or with the help of everybody. Thank you. All right, Rambam coming up. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you, Chabad Zech and Kadeshim, Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and pleasure to share with you the time. You have an amazing, wonderful day.